Hello. And today I'm going to be talking about, should I use social media scheduling tools or post manually? Now, this is a question I get asked a lot by businesses because obviously to schedule your post in advance is brilliant, but will it give you the best reach on social media? Is actually posting straight away, live, while it's in your head, going to give you a better reach? Well, today I'm going to talk through these and tell you what is the best approach. Now, I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, for those of you that don't know me. I'm a social media trainer and I train businesses all over the world on how to build communities and get a high reach when it comes to social media. I also run a group called the Social Flock, where I bring businesses together and we create content live on Zoom to hold you all accountable, which again is a great way of increasing your reach and working together to improve our social media. We've got 2 new members as well last week, Kevin and Caddy. So just want to say a huge welcome to them. Welcome to the flock, and it's great to have you in the group. So today we're going to be talking about scheduling, social media scheduling. Should I schedule all my posts in advance, or should we actually think about more posting manually? Okay. Well, the thing is it depends. As everything, there is no definitive set rule, but I'm going to give you now 4 personas and tell me in the chat who you think you are, okay? Because you will resonate with one of these 4. So the first persona is the life sharer, okay? They like to share their content 24/7. They're on social media all the time. They're really open and honest about things, maybe overshare a little bit, but they're on it. They're posting there and then all the time. They're really quite visible, and actually the social media platforms will probably grow quite quickly, but it can be exhausting if you are trying to do that all the time. You can also get a bit of brain fuzz, I will be honest, if you're on social media all the time. I know I have to have breaks because if I'm on it all the time, it's exhausting. So that's one, that's the life sharer. The second one is the automator. Really organized, planned all in ahead, scheduled everything so they don't need to think about their social media. Tick, that job is done, which is great. Tends to be much more structured, much more fitting in with the business objectives, a lot more planned, okay, which is great for your business objectives. But sometimes the content can lack that little bit of engagement. Okay, so that's the automator. You've then got the third persona, which is the perfectionist. Okay, so the perfectionist likes to, really thinks, what's the best approach for social media? I must post remotely. I've got loads of amazing ideas in my head. They're going to be great. And right, I'm going to sit down and write a post. And oh, crikey, before I know it, that post has taken me an hour and a half to write. But I've done that post. But because they're such perfectionists, it takes so long to write the posts. They're pretty good when they go out, but they're not consistent. And then they start feeling guilty because it's been 2 weeks since they posted. And oh my goodness, they must find another hour and a half to write a post. And all of a sudden, before they know it, time's rolled on and they've just not been consistent on social media. Okay. And then the fourth persona is kind of what I call a bit the juggler. Okay, so they do a bit of both. Yeah, a bit of, okay, well, we're going to plan a bit of content ahead because otherwise it might not happen, but we're also going to do some ad hoc ones in between. We're going to share, if things happen, and I'm just going to pop that out there. So that's what I call the juggler, juggling a bit of both. Okay, so tell me in the chat, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this on catch up, write in the chat, who do you think you are? Which persona resonates with you? The life sharer, the automator, the perfectionist, or the juggler? Well, I can tell you now, I'm a bit of a juggler. And I'll tell you how it helps, because actually I am a bit of a juggler. But I have grown my social media following to over 10,000 in the last few years, and I get a lot of business from it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you in a minute how I do that. Okay, and how I do it effectively, and actually how I do it for free. I don't actually pay for any of my scheduling tools. So what is the value of scheduling in advance then? Well, the value of scheduling in advance is that you can align it more to your business strategy. You can think about what do you need to post. You can be quite strategic about it. You can think, right, okay, what do we need to talk about? What do we need to tell our followers about? How do we create content that's compelling, that actually leads up to an event we might be running? Basically, you're consistent. So if you are scheduling content, you know, if you're scheduling three posts a week, you know those 3 posts are going out. If you are sort of scheduling in advance, it works for some people. I see some people batch content. They'll spend 1 day a month and they'll batch all their content, and then they've done it all. And actually, if you're a phenomenal copywriter, this can work really well. You can get great engagement. It's not a problem. But generally speaking, if you are scheduling in advance, then actually you do lose a little bit of the flow. Okay, you do lose a little bit of the flow, and you maybe will see a dip in engagement, particularly if you're using external scheduling tools, which I'll talk about in a minute. You've then got people that post straight away. And you know what? Posting straight away really does create a little bit more engagement. If this was going to be best practice, you probably would post straight away. You'd be on there a little bit more. But we've got to be realistic. We haven't all got time to spend hours on social media. But posting straight away in the moment, if there's life-changing events, if there's things about the weather that changes a lot here in the UK, if you're talking about news, upcoming news that comes out, and basically you're talking about, you know, posting straight away, you might lose that consistency potentially because you might get too busy and completely forget to post. Okay. But at least if you've done a little bit of scheduling, then you can do a bit of posting straight away. Okay. Now, there are lots of different scheduling tools that you can use because, in my opinion, I think you should be scheduling content because you need to be consistent. But I also think you need to be in the moment. That's when the passion comes through. And actually, for me, my best posts are those that have taken me 5 minutes to write, not the ones that have taken me forever to plan. Okay. So I would suggest you do a mix of both. So have a look at scheduling tools if you're not using at the moment. There are loads out there. Yeah, you can schedule posts on Canva. You can schedule posts on MailChimp. You've got Hootsuite, which tends to be a bit more expensive. You've got Buffer. You've got AgraPlus. You've got loads. There's loads of scheduling tools. I'm not going to list them all. They all have different pricing points as well. I'm going to tell you in a minute how I do it for free by scheduling. So I'm going to show you in a minute. But basically, I would do a bit of scheduling and then maybe around 3 posts a week, and then pop in a couple of times a week and do a post off the hoof. Yeah. Connect with your audience. You might have been to an event, talk about that audience, tag people in, be really quite creative and just go for it. Just do one quickly. Don't overthink it. Okay. Don't want it written in an hour and a half. We want a quick one, posting out that, because those tend to be the best. And post it live on social media straight away. It doesn't matter what time. Don't overthink it. Okay. Sometimes those posts that aren't overthought do a lot better. I can tell you now. Okay. So how do I do it then? So I do it for free, completely for free. I have quite a lot of social media platforms because I'm a social media trainer. I need to be on them. I would recommend you just focus on 1 or 2. But basically what I do is for my Facebook and my Instagram, I use Meta Business Suite. This is Facebook's own tool for scheduling. It's completely free. It's great. You can post. You can schedule stories, you can schedule reels, you can schedule your posts, and you can schedule them both to go to Instagram and Facebook at the same time or at different times. So I would use Meta Business Suite, completely free. And also, if you are using the native platforms that the social media companies have created themselves, they prefer it as well if you're using their native platforms. Now, you can post schedule now on LinkedIn. Yeah, just look for a little clock underneath each post. You can schedule on X, you can schedule on TikTok, you can schedule on Instagram, you can schedule on all of them remotely. Okay, but then I also post on TikTok. I tend to use TikTok's own scheduling tool or post straight away. Yeah. And with regards to LinkedIn, I use Buffer. I use the free version of Buffer because I can select 3 social media channels to schedule 10 posts across. It's limited to that. If you want to do any more, you'd have to pay for it. But basically, I schedule to my LinkedIn profile, my LinkedIn business page, and to X. Okay, and that goes out and is scheduled. So basically, I'm just using 2 platforms, Meta Business Suite and Buffer. Okay, so using those 2 platforms to schedule. And then when I've got events and things like that, I will then post remotely. And that is how I've grown my social media. And that is why I get good engagement. Not the best, because I'm not that live sharer. If I was that live sharer, I'd get much more engagement, but I haven't got time for that. But I get enough engagement, I get enough reach to get the business what I need. And that's what is the most important thing. So please do share. What do you do? What persona are you? Ask me any questions. Even if you're watching this on catch up, I will happily help. And if you need to be more consistent and you need help to make you accountable to actually even schedule those posts in, then do think about joining our group, The Social Flock. We come together twice a week. We write our posts on social media together, and I offer lots of training throughout the month as well. And we also have a private Facebook, private WhatsApp group that you're welcome to join as members, where we come together, share advice, ask each other for ideas, and really just help each other be consistent with their social media content. So here's the more information. Please do have a look, and any questions, do let me know. And I will see you next week for some more social media tips and advice. Thanks, guys. Bye.